Questions for Ms. Santiago and the Peace Corridor may be asked later. She will be available by phone patch. She's just waiting on the sidelines. Following is the latest update on military action in Marawi as of 8 p.m. 30 May 2017. All right, civilians killed by local terrorist groups, 19. Civilians rescued, 960. Enemy killed, 89. This has been confirmed by body count, 42, and confirmed by eyewitnesses, 47. Recovered firearms, 91. Recovered high-powered firearms, 81. Recovered low-powered firearms, 10. Government casualties, killed in action, 21. Wounded in action, 72. The current focus of operations remains as follows. Clearing of Marawi of militants still in the area. 2. Rescue of trapped residents. 3. Recovery of civilian casualties and victims. 4. Assisting the LGU, CSOs, NGOs on relief operations. Also, government intervention. To date, a total of 36,377,610 pesos worth of augmentation assistance has been provided to affected families in ARMM, all of which has been provided by the department through DSWD Field Office 10 and Field Office 12. As of today, there have been 18,609 families or 92,628 persons displaced in Regions 10 and ARMM, of which 2,722 families or 13,194 persons are still staying in 22 evacuation centers and 15,887 families or 79,434 persons staying outside the centers. The DSWD Field Office 10 immediately placed a disaster operations center in Iligan on the 23rd of May to augment the operations of the DSW ARMM. Next. The Department of Trade and Industry on May 25 enforced a price freeze on basic necessities and prime commodities in Mindanao. Next. Department of Energy implements price freeze on kerosene and LPG until June 7, 2017. Next. The National Power Corporation declared that the operations of power plants in Marawi and Lanao are normal. Next. Department of Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre sent Undersecretary Renante Oseo to Iligan City on 30th of May to oversee the creation of the panel of prosecutors for Maute cases. Next. Department of Education Secretary Leonor Briones postpones opening of classes on the 5th of June 2017 in Marawi and to move it to a later date. Next. That's it. We now defer to Spokesresti for his report.
Thank you very much, Secretary. As was reported a while ago, there continues to be a very positive development in the area of Marawi, especially with the recent recovery of numerous high-powered firearms. The recovery of these high-powered firearms continues to reduce the capability of these armed groups to do the violent activities that they have been doing for quite some time. Likewise, our continued emphasis on the humanitarian side of this conflict increases. As was pointed out, we have over 960 individuals who have been rescued from the area of conflict, and we expect to have an increasing number in this coming few days. Maybe at this very minute that we are talking and making this report, there could have been more numbers to this added. Our residents or our kababayans who are trapped in the area we have gathered have been afraid to come out for fear that they will be caught in the middle of the firefight and killed by crossfire. So we would like to guarantee and assure them that we are doing all we can to avoid any collateral damage that may ensue from this violent activity. The notice from our ground commanders to ensure that nothing of that sort comes out is this advice. If you are trapped in areas of conflict and you are aware of the presence of our military forces, please follow the following procedure. First, please prepare a white cloth, pure white cloth that you may have your hand on, and raise this white flag in the area where you are. When you see our soldiers approaching, come out, first women and children with their hands up. When they signal you, stay in the area where you are and only move when you are asked to move forward. Once told to move forward, please follow the instructions of our forces. Then the rescue procedures will begin. We would like to state this because of some confusion that may have been happening in the area of conflict. So ang punto po namin dito, wag po kayong matatakot. Kung kayo po ay nangangamba at hindi kayo nakakasigurado sa mga mangyayari, sundin nyo lang po yung sinabi kong gagawin nyo sa pamamagitan ng pagtataas ng isang puting bandila o puting kumot o anumang mahahawakan nyo na puting gamit. Pagka nawagayway na po ito, lumabas po muna yung mga kababaihan at kabataan na nakataas ang kamay. At simula doon, sesenyasan na po kayo ng ating mga pwersa na lumapit at matutulungan po kayo. Ang ganito pong susunding patakaran ay upang maiwasan ang anumang pangangamba sa hanay ng mga sibilyan na nasa loob, pati na rin po sa ating mga pwersa na maingat pong pumapasok sa mga lugar na kinaroroonan ng mga kalaban. On another account, we continue to work with all the NGOs and CSOs in the area to facilitate the entry of much-needed humanitarian help in areas where evacuees are staying and in areas where IDPs are located. So far, sir, this is our report, and we continue to provide or give the assurance of our armed forces that we are abiding by all established rules and protocols in this period of conflict. Our rules of engagements have not changed. We put priority on civilian lives and private property. The amount of force that we are using right now in the area is commensurate only to the resistance and the enemy force that we are facing. We are not going to use any more than that and employ military power only as needed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Open to questions.
MPC questions? Laila Salaveria, Inquirer.
Good morning for General Padilla. Sir, can you give us an update on your verification of the video of Father Sugano, and how are you treating his appeal in the video for the government to give the enemies what they want? So,
first off, our first reaction upon receipt of the video is to provide our technical staff the copy of the video for their complete assessment. As of this time, I have not received the assessment yet. But seemingly the video may seem to be authentic. But beyond the authenticity and the message of the video, there lies in the real reason for coming up with that video, which is propaganda purposes. And we would not want to get into that. The propaganda of the enemy is already of means that are indicative of their fighting for survival. They are trapped, they are contained, they are in areas that they will never come out alive unless they surrender. And that's why we are asking them and we are appealing to these armed men to come to their senses, lay down their weapons, and surrender. In this manner, we will be able to reduce the increasing cost of innocent lives as well as damage to property, and at the same time further lessens the number of numerous crimes they have been committed. Again, the force that we have been using will be commensurate to the resistance that we are meeting, and we will not employ anything else. In the matter of the message of Father Chito, we are taking cognizance of this, and this will be deliberately assessed from the perspective of our ground commanders. As of this time, as I'm making this report, and days prior to this, there have also been efforts to reach out through the back door for back channel talks with possible parties who may help. Our assurance to the families of all those who may still be hostage in the hands of these armed men is the assurance that we are doing all our best to keep them safe, to guarantee their safe release as much as possible, and within the parameters for which we are trying to operate now. These are the only things that I can share with you at the moment, and as developments come, we will be more than happy to share this with you.
Joseph Morong?
Sir, yun pong sa operation, how much would you be able to quantify how many more days you would need? And
The matter of when this will finally end actually rests with the assessment of the ground commanders who are actually in the combat area. So sila ang nakakaalam ng tamang kondisyon, ng tunay na kondisyon sa baba, at sila lang ang makapagsasabi kung kailan talaga matatapos ito. Pero sa kanilang pinapadalang report, with the reports that have been coming our way since last night, and as you have seen in the updates that we have provided, increasingly positive ang indication na ito. And if I may allude to some of the statements that have been previously done and made and released yesterday by some of our fighting forces, they estimate that they are reaching about 90% completely cleared, and a little bit more than 10% more to go. However, that 10% is most likely going to be the area that will be heavily guarded and defended by any of these armed men if they are protecting any individual of high value.
would you be able to disclose, okay lang kung hindi sir, but would you be able to disclose that 10% na area?
Unfortunately, even if some of our media friends are revealing specific areas where this battle is going on, I on my part, I'm not at liberty to discuss this particular pockets of resistance within Marawi.
Just one last point, sir. Regarding the basis for martial law, I think si SND in an executive session told the senators that our AFP would have been able to contain Maute without martial law. So, any comments on that, sir?
There was a clarificatory statement that was issued by the Department of National Defense earlier today regarding that. And if you will allow, may I read that clarificatory statement? Because you see, matters discussed in executive session are not supposed to be revealed in public, and I was surprised that this came out. But thank you, sir. So this is the message that came out from the Office of the Secretary of National Defense, and it states, clarificatory statement of the Secretary of National Defense. Defense Secretary Delphine Lorenzana clarifies that during an executive session in the Senate on 29 May 2017, what he said was that the government security forces can contain the situation in Marawi even without martial law. However, he emphasized that martial law is imperative to once and for all address security concerns in the entire Mindanao immediately and decisively. The situation currently being dealt with by the state security forces goes beyond Marawi City. President Duterte's imposition of martial law aims to put an end to the long-running rebellion in various provinces in the south, as evidenced by the incidents that have happened in Zamboanga, Davao, Bohol, Lanao, Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, and Maguindanao. As the President has repeatedly said, kung magde-declare ako ng martial law, tatapusin ko ng lahat ito, referring to the threats posed by ISIS-linked local and foreign terrorist groups whose network covers the entire Mindanao. So, end of statement. I think that more than clarifies the statement that was said by the Senate.
So did the senator, sir, put words into his mouth?
I cannot say. You will have to ask them.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Tuesday New, DCBB.
Hi, sir. To General Padilla, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can you confirm yung sinasabi po na mayroon na raw pong isang kaanak or kapatid o kung ano man yung relationship sa Maute nung isang Omar Maute na na-intercept daw o nahuli sa airport just this morning? Hawak na raw po ng intelligence officers po natin.
Yan pong balitang yan na pumasok po hating gabi kagabi at saka a little bit earlier, na itanong po sa atin ito. And we have clarified with all the agencies, particularly airport authorities, and this is untrue, negative. Ang tunay na lumabas dito ay meron pong isa tayong nagngangalang Bandrang, Abdullah Nasser Bandrang, na inimbita lang po para tanungin. At ito'y nangyari sa Terminal 3. At ang pagkatapos ng imbitasyon na yan, at pag-usisa po sa kanyang pinanggalingan, paroroonan, at ng kanyang tinitirhan, pinakawala na rin po siya.
So, pwede pa nating sabihin, sir, na safe ang Metro Manila from any members of the Maute terror group?
Ang masasabi po natin is ginagawa po ng lahat ng ating otoridad ang kanilang tungkulin upang pangalagaan ang seguridad ng ating airports at ng ating syudad.
Last part, sir, last from my part. Yung sa appeal po ni Father Chito, mayroon na po ba tayong na-identify na whereabouts nila at yung veracity ng kanyang sinasabi kung mayroon daw 200 pa siyang mga kasama na hawak sila daw po ng Maute?
Tulad na nabanggit ko Tuesday, ito ay may laro ng propaganda sa hanay ng kalaban at hindi nga natin batid kung tama yung sinabing mga figura. Isa pa, ayaw natin pasukan muna ito. Bagamat nasabi ko yan, mayroon pong mga ginagawang hakbang sa lugar na para po matiyak ang kanilang safety at kung maaari ay may release sila ng maayos. So I'll leave it at that for the moment and that guarantee. And I also refer to you to the comments of some of our bishops who you asked for comments, and they mentioned that it is apparent that the Reverend is speaking in duress. So, pressured siya. So, that is indicative of many things.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Ted Tuera to be followed by AC Nichols.
Good morning, General. Sir, binanggit niyo po kanina yung sa statement nga ng DND na ang pag-declare ni Presidente ng martial law ay to end all the problems in Mindanao. Sir, assuming na matatalo natin yung Maute in a few days, would the AFP recommend extending or cut yung martial law po, sir?
Ito po ang ginagawa natin ngayon ay nakatuon ng pansin sa Marawi dahil nandyan pumutok yung gulo na to. Pero hindi pa po natin na-address yung iba pang pong lugar na kung saan maaaring merong supporting structure, sympathizers, and the like. So yung panahon po na ibinigay sa atin ay gagamitin po natin upang ma-address itong mga ibang bagay na ito. So hindi po natin papangunahan dahil itong hinaharap nating problema ngayon ay localized kasi ito yung pinakamalaki at pinaka-immediate na nangangailangan ng ating atensyon. But there are also efforts in other areas to address potential and possible threats that may be coming out in the offing.
Okay, AC?
This is for spokes. Sir, just to clarify yung statement about the peace corridors, it was agreed upon during the meeting, sir, on Monday between...
Yes.
Okay, sir, may iba pa po bang napag-usapan yung MILF and President Duterte that you can share with us?
Basically, yun lang po ma-share ko dahil that's the only thing that was shared with us from OPAP. Okay.
Okay, Laila Salaveria?
Spokesperson Padilla. Sir, there have been reports of foreigners fighting along with Maute members. Aside from Asians, are there other foreigners joining them? What are the nationalities of the foreigners fighting alongside them?
As to the exact nationalities of foreign fighters allegedly in the area, we cannot say yet because we have not yet adequately proven even the existence of any of them in this particular fighting. What we have been saying is that we were able to come across some information still for confirmation that indicate that some of those who died who have been named seem to be foreigners. But we don't have proof yet. But with the amount of material that has been coming out and being recovered in the areas of conflict, there could be in this collection of documents and other materials, proof that would indicate the existence of these foreign fighters. So let's wait for our intelligence people and our analysts to look into this collection of documents and materials, and perhaps they may be able to take or extract something from those. But for the previous operations that we have conducted in the area of Mindanao, there were identified 8 foreigners who have been helping all these armed groups, these terrorist groups. In fact, that may have been increased to 12 in number. And out of the 12, or out of the 8 earlier identified, madami na dun sa kanila na neutralized in successful operations. One of them is Sanusi, the religious figure who helped create Maute, who died in one of the operations. Another one is the Singaporean Mawia, and others, no? So out of the 8, perhaps there were around 5 or 6 who have been neutralized already. So there may be replacements for all these people who have been lost. And in earlier operations, as I mentioned, there is proof, recovery of passports, materials, pictures, and the like. But for this particular incident in Marawi, we hope to find out more as soon as we go through these documents that have been recovered. So let's wait for it.
Did you get any indication of the participation of non-Asian foreigners in the...
Of the 42 bodies that have been recovered in the area, it is so hard to make any distinction. Kasi magkakumukha naman eh. Ang Asians, they kind of have the same profile. So unless we do a DNA or do an exact forensics on the recovered bodies, that may be the only time when we can be very sure. So for now, we cannot, and based on what we have.
What I meant, sir, none of other races, clearly Caucasian.
Wala. So far, I understand that from the bodies that have been recovered, the profile kind of suits one origin.
Sir, another topic, sir. Where are we now in the search for Hapilon?
We believe he's still there, and we believe that is why they're putting up a very stiff resistance in the areas that they're still being held up and being cleared. So let's wait for developments as to this issue.
There being Marawi, sir.
Din Marawi, yes.
Pia Rañada to be followed by Celerina Del Mundo Monte.
Sir, I just want to clarify what you mentioned earlier, that the military aims to maximize the 60 days martial law. So, sir, can we expect that at the very least, the shortest time martial law will be implemented is 60 days? It won't be shortened. There's no chance of that?
Yes, I cannot speak yet with finality because right now in Congress is a session ongoing to assess and approve the declaration. But at the Senate level, we were very clear and we're very thankful of the support we got from our senators who clearly understand the breadth and width of the security problem that we're facing, and in fact have been encouraging us. And for Congress, let's wait and see for today, whatever their decision is. But given the opportunity, we will really use that time to help bring back Mindanao to normalcy, and at the same time ensure that any of these security threats will be reduced to nothing or the least capability to do any harm.
Okay, Celerina.
Sir, good morning. Sorry, General Padilla. So, follow up po doon kay Pia. So, it doesn't mean that once maklear na yung Marawi, it doesn't mean na ililift na yung martial law. It will continue.
Maliwanag ko po yatang naipalawanag kanina na ito pong pinagtutuunan natin ng pansin ngayon ay Marawi kasi ito po yung pinaka-immediate problem. Pero hindi naman na nangungulugan na pagkatapos ng Marawi, hindi natin pagtutuunan ng pansin yung ibang lugar. Kailangan natin pagtuunan ng pansin yan kasi itong mga nasa Marawi ay karamihan hindi tiga Marawi. Ang ating mga kababayan sa Marawi ay peace-loving, very industrious, business-like ang kanilang buhay. Kaya nga mamakaawa sila na kung maaari, walang aerial bombardment kasi pinaghirapan nila sa kanilang pangangalakal na pinundar nila ng mga bahay nawawala sa kanilang tingin ngayon. Kaya yung mga dayuhang ito ay galing sa ibang lugar. At yung mga ibang lugar na yon, kailangan bigyan din natin ng atensyon.
Sir, during the meeting yesterday by Secretary Cayetano with the members of the diplomatic corps, one of the concerns raised was the security of the foreign nationals in Mindanao. Do you have any estimate as to how many foreigners are there in Mindanao, and if ever, are you going to recommend that they leave the place?
Unfortunately, I don't have the statistics on expats who are in Mindanao, and we will not recommend their pull-out. In fact, we will recommend that they continue with their business, and we will guarantee them protection. The only thing that we can request of all these expats is to let us know their whereabouts so that suspicion is taken out of the picture. So if we know what they're doing as legitimate and there's no reason to suspect, then they can go about their business freely.
So meaning, sir, they have to report to the military or to the police in the area why they are there?
I think it's just an accounting, just to know where they are so that we can facilitate the provision of security and at the same time keep tab of their possible whereabouts. So in case of any incident, we can react accordingly.
Sir, yung priest, do you think is still in Marawi? Yung based do sa initial assessment
Hindi ko po
sa video?
masasabi. Tulad ng binanggit ko kanina, the material is submitted for examination and for assessment. So after the forensics on those material, then and I get this report, then probably we can say.
Okay, thank you. Follow up muna, AC.
Sir, just as a follow-up on what you said na nasa Marawi yung immediate problem, but of course you have to look into other areas as well. Are you talking about members pa rin itong particular group responsible for what's happening in Marawi right now, or are you saying all other possible terror groups operating in Mindanao?
It's the whole and complete picture of the security situation in Mindanao. Remember, there are BIFF elements operating in Maguindanao, Cotabato area. There have been elements of a certain group called AKP in General Santos area that have been discovered and neutralized before. There are still the existence of Kidnap for Ransom Group ASG in Basilan, Polo, Tawi-Tawi, and the like. So, by and large, they're still in the areas and we haven't addressed them completely. So, they need to be looked into and addressed completely before we can definitely say that we have addressed all the security problems in Mindanao.
As a follow-up, sir, these groups have been around for a while, so is it safe to assume that martial law will not, and Mindanao will not be lifted anytime soon nga kasi it's gonna take a while to
the
go
decision to keep martial law remains to be in the hands of political leaders. It's not with us. We only make recommendations. If in the event that in 60 days we still need the suspension of the writ or the privilege of the writ, then we can recommend it because we need to address and look after the security situation in other parts. Remember that the declaration of the President is very much different from the declaration of long ago. Right now, martial law is implemented not in the fashion of 1972, but in accordance with the spirit of 1987 Constitution, which is ineffectively malaki ang kaibahan. The courts are still working, and we are still obliged to submit to the court people we arrest. The only difference, in as far as we are concerned, is that we are given a longer period of time to make the arrests and submit them to court. In ordinary times, I think it's only 1.5 day, 36 hours. Pag naaresto ang isang individual, bago mo siya maaresto, kinakailangan pumila ka pa para kumuha ng isang arrest warrant o warrant to search. Ngayon, pag meron tayong martial law, sinuspindi po yung privilege. At hindi na namin kailangan pumila para kung merong mga masasamang loob na dapat arestuhin, maaresto ka agad. At pag naaresto sila, we are given about 3 days to process them and have them charged in court, which is in contrast, double the time under ordinary period. So it provides a degree of flexibility and a degree of latitude for our security forces to really enforce the law and make arrests in as far as all these individuals are concerned.
Sorry, sir, last. So just to clarify, you will go after these groups, yung etong BIFF and others, through martial law?
Yes, government is dead serious in bringing back peace, longer sustainable peace, and a good security environment for Mindanao.